And we get you some breaking news at this point in time, where a letter from Thalal's brother to the prosecution requesting a new date for the execution of Nimisha Priya's death sentence. Well, that is the big breaking news that we're getting you at this point in time, where the letter states that all types of mediation efforts and negotiations are being rejected. The letter also reminds that 1.5 months have passed since the execution was postponed. It appears there seems to be no relief for Nimisha, but back-channel conversations with India's counterparts are still on. But a letter from Thalal's brother to the prosecution requesting a new date for the execution of Nimisha Priya's death sentence is what we are looking at right now, because the letter states that all types of mediation efforts and negotiations are being rejected. The letter also reminds that 1.5 months have passed since the execution was postponed. My colleague Vivek Narayanan is joining me live right now to get us more details. Vivek, contrary to what the clerics wanted us to believe, that there seems to be some relief for Nimisha Priya, this particular letter that has now surfaced, which has been written from Thalal's brother to the prosecution requesting a new date for the execution, it debunks that whole theory that there seems to be relief in the near future for Nimisha Priya. What they are asking is for the execution to be carried out for Nimisha Priya's death sentence. Also, very categorically being mentioned that all efforts of negotiations and mediations are being rejected. Take us through the details. What can be expected now?
Yes, Samia, this is indeed a major setback as far as Nimisha Priya, a family and the well-wishers are concerned, because, the brother of Thalal has directly written to the prosecution and to the government authorities to ensure that the execution should happen at the earliest stage. Remember, even though there was been talks between the Mufti and, few religious heads back in Syria, back in Yemen, what happened here was that there was no intervention or no joining of Nimisha, I mean the Talal's family in this matter. Talal's family was not taken into account. In none of these talks was Talal's family involved, and they were quite angry with the way things have been going on for the last 1 year, and that's the reason why Talal's brother has also raised serious allegations against Samuel Jerome, the activist and the advocate who has been there in the forefront as far as this issue is concerned. And also, Talal's family is not happy with the way media has taken up this issue. Also, in social media, as you can see, there are a lot of comments and a lot of speculations and opinions from various quarters as far as this matter is concerned. And hence, at one point, even Talal's brother has said that that this particular incident is something very, very sensitive for them, because he says that he has clear evidence to state that Nimisha Priya was directly involved in this murder, and there was no one's help, and hence he says he insisted that there is nothing short of execution that they are demanding as far as this matter is concerned. And today, that letter has been written, and that's the copy which you're seeing on the screen. That Talal's elder brother has clearly stated that the execution should be done, but exactly on what date is something which is not mentioned. Remember, Nimisha Priya's family, his mother, Nimisha Priya's husband, Nimisha Priya's daughter, all are in Yemen at this point, and they're trying to meet the family members of Talal, but not no point has the family members agreed to meet them. Now, this is the biggest setback for the family, and also this shows that the family members, especially the most close family members of Talal, is not willing to budge as far as this matter is concerned. So, as we say, there has to be some miracle that should happen at this point of time. Some senior members within the government, at a very higher level, should initiate talks with the family of Talal. Only then that we can expect something favorable in as far as Nimisha Priya is concerned, because what we understand here is that a cleric or any religious leader initiating talks with the family members or with the government authorities won't bring out any outcome as far as this matter is concerned. At senior, at top level, at level, or at a level of someone very, very senior should directly involved in this particular matter, only then that we can expect something favorable as far as this matter is concerned, because the family members of Talal has been opposing the execution right from the beginning.
Absolutely. Vivek, kindly stay with us. I'm also joined by Babu John, who's an activist over here. Mr. John, good afternoon. Thank you for taking your time and joining us over here at News 9. My colleague Vivek Narayanan was getting us all the details about the letter that has been written by Talal's brother to the prosecution requesting a new date for the execution of Nimisha Priya's death sentence. It's contrary to what we were made to believe by the clerics over here in India, that there seems to be relief in the near future for Nimisha Priya. But over here, the letter categorically states that all efforts of mediation and negotiations have been rejected. We'll try and reconnect with Mr. Babu over there, but my colleague Vivek Narayanan continues to be with us. Vivek, what do we know about the family of Nimisha Priya? What do they have to say about this new letter that has now been written by Talal's brother?
Yes, the family, as far as the daughter and mother is concerned, they are, in a very, dejected for the last few days, because we saw the Mufti's office directly saying that, the government is not listening to them. And at one point, remember, the Mufti's office, Abu Bakr Musliar's office has come out and said that, they have clear evidence to suggest that the execution has been stayed.
Have to
But later,
interject over there, but I'll come back to you. Mr. Babu John is back with us on the phone line. Mr. John, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time and joining me over here at News 9. I was putting that question across to you over here. Is that contrary to what the clerics wanted us to believe over here in India, it appears that there is developments taking place in completely different directions. Talal's brother has written to the prosecution requesting a new date for the execution of Nimisha Priya's death sentence, stating that all efforts of negotiation and mediation have been rejected by the family. What can we expect now?
Yeah, thank you for calling me. I just wanted to, tell you what you said now is a fact, but there is a factual error. Your reporter was, speaking. I could hear that, he was telling that Nimisha's husband and daughter is in Yemen. That is totally a wrong information. Nimisha's husband and daughter is in India, in Kerala. It was, propagated by, I don't know by who and, for what purpose. That is a wrong information, mistaken information without government of India knowing, they cannot travel. That is the first thing. Second thing, what you said is correct. Talal's brother, Mr. Abdul Fattah and team, Yemeni team, was totally annoyed by the propaganda by this Muslim clergy in Kerala, saying that on 28th of July evening, all the media in Kerala was propagating a news from him. He himself came into the news saying that Nimisha's execution is stopped. He was declaring that by my intervention, the execution is stopped. That triggered the Yemeni people, including Mr. Abdul Fattah and team, and they walked out of all what, they were trying to make the path for Nimisha's saving. What they are saying, you are accused, you are making joke of us, and they are not willing to go for further negotiation, and they wrote a letter to the government and the court of Yemen saying that they are now demanding an immediate execution. This happened in 29th of July, the very next day of 28th. This news come out from the Muslim clergy. So this kind of media hype and propaganda for somebody's sake is not going to help Nimisha. And then government of India also, and me myself came into the media, said, and government of India also said, don't go to the speculations and media propaganda here in India, because things are happening under the leadership of Indian government and knowledge of Indian government by the team, and which cannot be declared in public now. And I was mentioning example of one Father Ulnadan case also in 2016. What has happened, it was all happening with the help of the government of India, and which cannot be publicized, which cannot be made in public, because this is all happening. The discussion is all happening with the knowledge of the two governments and the people involved. So please, we have to keep away ourselves from the media propaganda, and that will go against Nimisha's saying.
Agreed, Mr. John, but what is going to be the step forward that the Indian government should now take? Of course, the back channel talks have been ongoing with the counterparts in Yemen. You are saying that Nimisha Priya's family is not there in Yemen, but what should be the next step forward to try and extend the kind of postponement that we have been seeing so far as the execution of the death sentence on Nimisha Priya is concerned?
Yeah, July 14th, there is a letter issued by the Director General of Prosecution from Yemen to the jail superintendent saying that the death sentence date is postponed. Date is postponed. It is not saying that, they have pardoned. But, this is a process, as I told you before, this is a process which cannot be explained in the media by government of India or by myself or anybody, knowingly cannot explain this, which will put out all the movements. These kind of things, especially because of there is no diplomatic relation with the Houthi government, and we cannot, bring them into the situation or bring anybody into the situation. We cannot blame each other. So whatever the government of India leadership is doing, that is doing, it will take its own pace of time, and we cannot discuss in the public whatever is happening.
But Mr. Babu John agreed these are confidential conversations that are ensuing between both parties. But in the interim, it was made to believe that Nimisha Priya's relief solely lies with Thalal's family. That if Thalal's family want, then of course they can mitigate the entire sentencing itself. But with this present letter surfacing, the chances of that looks very grim.
That is true. That is true. That is why I'm saying this letter, is issued by the Thalal on the eve of, Mr. this Muslim clergy. I don't want to name his name. Everybody knows who is that, and his team propagated that the execution is stopped. It triggered them. They made, angry, and they made went out of hands. And, we cannot do anything if that is happening. What they are saying, your media is showing. For them, the media here in Kerala or in India is one. They don't know the difference of opinions and what the difference of ways happening here. They are seeing you all together are mocking on us, joking on us. We didn't agree to stop the execution. We didn't agree to pardon. But your media is saying it is already pardoned. That is the problem happened.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Babu John, who's a member at the Nimisha Priya's International Action Council negotiating team, for speaking to us exclusively here at News 9. We shall leave it at that for the moment.